Hi there, everyone. Just want to welcome you into the Kumo Theater. Come on down. We've got seats, and we're going to get ready to get started here. Wanted to ask, Alok is from Cloud Passage, and tell me what you're going to be talking about today, the topic.
So we see a lot of challenges that customers are facing when they are trying to move security to the left on DevOps side. And they are struggling with what tools to use, what platform to use, how to do that, what processes to follow. And with containers, things are becoming even more complex. So we are going to talk about how you move security to the left in your DevOps pipeline and how to do that with Amazon AWS services as well as containers.
Okay. And obviously, security is a huge issue for people right now, probably the #1 issue for every company going forward. So why is it important that you have a system that's going to help you accomplish that and also be easy? I mean, there's got to be like a sticking point where it becomes too difficult and then the company doesn't take the steps they need to and then they put themselves at risk, right?
Yep. As you're rolling out cloud infrastructure and applications in the cloud, it's all about automation, right? Because you're dealing with large volumes of instances and systems and containers. It's all about automation, and hence it becomes critical for the customers to think about security, but doing it in a way that it's automated and doing it at scale.
Great. So what you're going to talk about is how to make this easier.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody, please come on in. We've got a great topic here. We're talking about security and when you're migrating things, how you can make sure you're doing it in a secure way. We're getting started here in just one moment, so come on in to the Kumo Theater. And Alok is going to be talking about accelerating DevOps with automated security through Cloud Passage. So automated security, the idea being that you put the system in place, and then it does a lot of the work for you, right?
Yes. So we'll start with a sample application like people are really deploying, and look at how they do with containers, with real VMs in their own traditional data centers, and with Amazon services. And how do you layer in security and get visibility across all those pieces in the infrastructure?
So kind of like every step of the way.
Every step of the way, yes.
Okay, very good. All right, come on in, everybody. We're getting started here, and we do have plenty of seats. If you'd like to bring your lunch or your coffee, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and introduce you.
Yes.
Just to get going.
Yes. Okay.
So please.
And the recording is going to start after you introduce.
Yes, correct. So please welcome to the stage my small but mighty crowd. I'm going to need you to holler and pretend like you're at a rock concert. Are you ready for this? Yes? Do I have your commitment? All right. Please welcome to the stage, Alok Ojha.
Thank you. Hey, guys. How's it going? So today we're going to talk about how you accelerate your DevOps and do that in a way that's scalable, automation-driven, and focused on visibility across your infrastructure. Again, my name is Alok. I am a director of products at Cloud Passage. So let's start with
out of here now.
Okay. All right, thank you. So, so let's talk about a sample application. In this case, what you're looking at is an online web application that is built with cloud first in mind and cloud native in mind, right? So if you look at a service, on the right-hand side, you're looking at services running in Amazon ECS. You have the online web application that's completely containerized. It's using microservices such as the cart service, the catalog service, the account service. At the same time, it still has the order services running on-prem in customer's own data center because you have either compliance issues or there are other applications that are using the order service for placing orders for the customers. Now, if you look at this, there are multiple challenges. Now, first thing is, on the container side, you have to have visibility on containers and all the Docker hosts that are deployed in ECS. So you have to look at visibility. At the same time, you ought to know if any of those containers have configuration problems. Are any of these running in privilege mode and they should not be? Or they actually have writable mount points on it. The images that are being used by the containers in the runtime, do they have security issues? Do they have secrets and keys embedded in the container images that are hosted in Amazon ECR, right? At the same time, you're looking at VMs. Are the VMs misconfigured? Are there security issues in it? Are there intrusion activities going on the VM or infrastructure at whole, as a large, and how do you go about solving the problem? So now if you look at the DevOps pipeline in general, if you look at the historical, traditional approaches of building software, you have been building software. The releases have been 9 to 12 months long. You have completely a waterfall model of building software, testing it, and then deploying it, which takes forever. Now, if you are really focused on building and delivering software pretty fast and quickly to meet your customer requirements, you are shifting to actually a complete DevOps pipeline where you're building, testing, and delivering software on a daily basis. And as you do that, what happens is there are a lot more changes that are happening way too frequently for the IT security team, as well as these DevOps guys to track, monitor, and scale. So let's look at what are the key challenges that we see our customers talk to us about. So if you're rolling out, let's walk through a typical DevOps pipeline. In this case, we're using the Amazon services for building your DevOps pipeline. So if you're developing code, you're using Amazon, the AWS code commit. You are building software using cold build. You are deploying it using ECS. Now, Amazon today actually announced support for Kubernetes as well. So you could choose to roll out using Kubernetes. And once you are deploying the code, you're actually running it at scale. And you have more than one container per image running, per host running in your infrastructure. And you have the same problems that we talked about earlier from a security standpoint. So what are the key challenges? You have to look at moving security to the left because the cost of finding vulnerabilities in your production environment is too high. So you've got to move it to the left. You've got to make sure that if there are configuration issues that you ought to fix, it's closer to the developers, which means if you can find a problem at build time, your developers can get to it faster, fix the issues, and deliver the code faster as well. The second problem is you need to keep in mind that the infrastructure is changing. So containers, for example, make the problem of the life of the instance running even harder because you have containers that are very ephemeral, they're short-lived. VMs historically used to run for days. Now containers are running for minutes. So if you have to have visibility into containers, it's a very different approach about how you go about monitoring containers, securing them, and being compliant. The third thing is container images. Now you're not building application MSIs or packages and deploying it to your environment. You're also looking at building images, which can then be rolled out using Kubernetes or ECS. So you have to look at how do you analyze the images and find issues so you can fix it sooner than later. The fourth challenge is getting to the container and the host runtime. So you have vulnerabilities that can be in the host level or the containers themselves. You could have people intruding into your environment and having malicious activities going on, so you can detect file integrity changes. You can look at log-based intrusion detection and be able to do that from one single platform. The fifth challenge is getting visibility across the board throughout the life cycle of your application in containers and doing it consistently so that you can scale your infrastructure and scale security as your infrastructure scales out. Last but not the least is you ought to do all of this and still be compliant to your specific domain. It could be PCI, it could be HIPAA if you are in the healthcare sector, or it could be plain simple policy or organizational policy around CIS benchmarks. So how can Cloud Passage help you? So Cloud Passage provides one single platform that provides you unified view across all infrastructure when it comes to security, be it servers, bare metal servers, VMs, or containers. You have one place to get visibility into your entire infrastructure. It's designed for cloud, and it's designed for scale. So as a result, you actually not only get visibility, but as you roll out and grow your infrastructure, or your infrastructure goes up and down, your security moves along with it. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of operational aspects and securing containers versus the host operating systems, you're looking at securing your registries and monitoring them so that you have full inventory of images that the developers are building and pushing to Amazon ECR, for example. Or if those images are getting rolled out to your production environments, getting visibility into that, but at the same time be able to map one or more containers to the images that were used to run the containers. Now, if you are a security practitioner, you care about the security workflow from a prevention, detection, and response point of view. Now, on the left-hand side, you have the full stack of what your application typically looks like. So you have the infrastructure at the bottom. To the top, you have the application, the data layer. Now, when it comes to registries, containers, and servers and VMs, we provide you complete security workflow from prevention, including detecting vulnerabilities, configuration changes, as well as detecting problems such as anomalous activities going on in the environment through intrusion detection, as well as responding to the problem by integrating with your SIM platform. Before me, there was somebody from Sumo Logic talking about how they can help you, and Sumo Logic is a huge partner for us. So if you're using Sumo Logic, Splunk, ArcSight, we can integrate with them, forward the events of interest, so you can respond to the problem, as well as tie into your GRC platform of choice. Now, if you're looking at the entire market at large and thinking about where we fit in at Cloud Passage, so if you're building a cloud application, be it public cloud or private cloud, you're looking at a bunch of different problem areas as a security practitioner. You're looking at identity management, data encryption, host intrusion detection, to the various layers on the right-hand side when it comes to aggregation and monitoring and analytics. Now, where we play is all the boxes that you see in the middle, which is blue. So we provide you one single platform across servers and containers to have visibility from the operational activities, file integrity, application control, host security, vulnerability assessment, configuration assessment, and more. So what are the top challenges we solve for our customers? We have multiple customers that focus on one or more of the areas, but there are others who are actually very focused deep into DevSecOps or compliance or workload security. Now, when it comes to workload security, we provide, as I said earlier, full visibility across your infrastructure, be it containers or be it traditional workloads running on VM. You can secure your DevOps pipeline from the time you build the code to distribute to Amazon ECR or other registries like Docker registry, to deployment using Kubernetes, Puppet, so on and so forth. So you can monitor the entire pipeline in your infrastructure. And last but not the least, provide you compliance along the way as you roll out your infrastructure. Now, we are here at AWS events. It's important that we talk about how we help our customers who are using Amazon Web Services. So we have very tight integration. We are an Amazon partner, obviously, and we have tight integration with the ecosystem there. So image registries, we support Amazon ECR, EC2 registry services, container service. We also support integration with code build, code pipeline. We support Kubernetes, as well as the container host, be it typical Linux distribution or the Amazon optimized Linux distribution here. Now, when it comes to image registry monitoring, we actually provide you full visibility into new images that are being published by your developers to your registry. At the same time, we can identify which images are vulnerable and map it to the instances in the runtime. So we can highlight that you have one image that's vulnerable, but there may be 10,000 instances of containers running in infrastructure. Thereby, your attack surface from a security perspective is pretty large. Even though it's one image, you could have 1,000 instances of that image running in an environment. On the container runtime, we fully support Amazon ECS. So by a single agent, you can get security at the host level for the Amazon instance, EC2 instance. At the same time, it helps you identify security issues of the containers that are running, including deep visibility into configuration issues, such as privileged containers, containers that are using rogue images. We can identify all those problems down to the kernel namespace settings and kernel capability settings for the container. And last but not least, when it comes to deployment, right, the question is, I'm using thousands of EC2 instances. How do I deploy the software? So it's pretty straightforward. Within minutes, you can actually, using a single script, making it part of the EC2 template, you can roll it out to thousands of servers. And because the agent supports both server as well as containers, you don't have to do anything differently for the container infrastructure. Same EC2 instance, if it's running Docker, we'll actually have visibility to that as well. And within 5 minutes, our customers get visibility in the infrastructure, but at the same time, all the security issues, be it vulnerability, configuration, intrusion activities going on, you get visibility into that in a matter of minutes. With that, I will close and see if there are any questions. If you'd like to learn more and get a demo of the product, you can visit us at the booth at 913, which is right straight from here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you guys.